All right, let's get right into it. In today's world of super fast supply chains, a warehouse isn't just four walls and a roof anymore, it's a high-tech command center. And at the very heart of the most complex ones is a system that acts as its brain. SAP Extended Warehouse Management, or EWM. We're going to break down exactly what that means and why it's such a massive game changer.
So, here's what we've got on tap. We'll kick things off with the absolute fundamentals. What even is SAP EWM? Then, we'll see how it takes control of the day-to-day warehouse grind. From there, we'll unlock the really cool stuff, its advanced features and AI power. We'll wrap up by walking through the huge strategic decisions you'd have to make, and finally, we'll hear the expert's final verdict on it all.
So, first things first, a modern warehouse can feel like controlled chaos. You've got millions of different items all moving around constantly. The real challenge is, how do you turn all that potential chaos into perfectly synchronized, flawless control?
Seriously, just stop and think about that for a second. You've got thousands of orders flying in, trucks showing up all day, and a whole team of people and machines whizzing around. How on earth do you orchestrate all of that without dropping the ball? Well, that is the exact problem a system like EWM was born to solve.
And this is where SAP EWM enters the picture. The absolute best way to think about it is as the central nervous system of your entire warehouse. See, it's not just a fancy spreadsheet tracking inventory. No, it's actively directing every single movement, from the moment a truck pulls up to the dock all the way to the shipping lane. It's SAP's heavyweight champion for the most demanding logistics operations out there. Okay, so before we dive any deeper, let's zoom out. Here are the big picture things you need to remember. First, it plugs right into S/4HANA, which means your logistics team and your finance team are looking at the exact same real-time data. Second, this thing is built for complexity. It's total overkill for a small, simple warehouse. Third, it's leaning heavily into AI to start making smart, proactive moves. And finally, and listen up because this one's a biggie, the difference between the basic and advanced license is absolutely massive. We will definitely come back to that.
All right, with that 30,000-foot view, let's get down to the warehouse floor. Let's look at how EWM sets the fundamental rules of the road. This is all about gaining absolute, granular control over every single thing that happens inside those four walls.
To make this real, let's just follow a pallet of goods coming in. EWM doesn't just see stuff arrived. No way. It directs a whole symphony. It checks the pallet against what the supplier said was coming. It tells the operator which specific work center to take it to for breakdown. It might automatically flag it for a quality inspection, and then it tells the forklift driver the single most efficient, optimized spot to put it away. Every step is guided.
And this microscopic level of control is everywhere. For orders going out, it groups them into smart waves, so your pickers aren't just wandering aimlessly. Internally, it sees a picking bin is getting low and automatically creates a task to refill it. And for inventory accuracy, it runs your cycle counting programs to make sure the numbers in the system actually match what's on the shelf.
Okay, having that core control is, well, it's the foundation. It's table stakes. But this is where the whole conversation shifts. The real killer advantage today isn't just about recording what happened, it's about optimizing what happens next. It's about EWM going from a simple system of record to a true system of intelligence.
And this isn't just some marketing fluff. We're talking about real hard numbers. Get this. Our source highlights a company that used just one advanced function called slotting, which is basically optimizing where you store your stuff, and they cut their pickers' travel time by 15%. 15! That's a huge saving in labor and a massive boost in speed.
So you see, these advanced features are the real engines of performance. Labor management lets you actually measure how productive your teams are. Yard management extends your control outside the building to the chaotic truck yard. The material flow system, or MFS, is the brain that directly talks to your conveyor belts and automation. And task interleaving is just brilliant. It makes sure a forklift driver who just dropped something off immediately gets a task to pick something up nearby. No more empty trips.
But wait, we're not done yet. The next giant leap forward is AI. And this changes the entire philosophy of warehouse management. We're shifting from a system that's great at telling you what just happened to one that can accurately predict what's about to happen and gives you a chance to get ahead of it.
So what does this actually look like on the floor? Well, imagine your system analyzing next month's sales forecast and proactively telling you to move your best sellers to the front of the warehouse. Or imagine getting a heads up on Thursday that you're probably going to be short-staffed next Tuesday, giving you time to react. It can even spot a process that's taking too long in real time and flag it before it becomes a major bottleneck.
This is the stuff that leads to a true digital twin where you can test out big changes virtually before you ever move a single rack. Okay, this all sounds incredibly powerful, right? But how do you actually make it happen? This brings us to the really big strategic decisions. If you're a leader who's even thinking about EWM, these next couple of choices are, without a doubt, the most important ones you'll make.
This is the million-dollar question. EWM is not a one-size-fits-all product, not even close. You've got different versions, different ways to deploy it, and making the right call right at the beginning is, well, it's everything.
All right, I need you to pay close attention because this slide is probably the most critical decision point of all. You have basic EWM, which handles your core, fundamental processes, but pretty much every single transformative, high-value feature we've been talking about, wave management, slotting, labor tracking, controlling your automation, yeah, all of that is locked behind a separate, paid advanced license. The takeaway is simple. If your goal is a high-performance intelligent warehouse, you need advanced, period.
The other huge choice is how you set it up. Do you run it embedded right inside your S/4HANA system or on a separate decentralized server? Let me make this easy for you. The expert advice is crystal clear. For probably 90% of new implementations, embedded is the right answer. It's simpler, it's real-time, it's less expensive to maintain, and it's where SAP is putting all their energy. Decentralized is really just for those rare, unbelievably massive warehouses.
So, after breaking down the tech, digging into the features, and laying out the big decisions, where do we land? What's the final authoritative verdict on SAP EWM?
Honestly, this quote from our source material really says it all. If you're just storing boxes, sure, other systems can work. But if your goal is to build a true high-performance logistics machine, one that's intelligent, automated, and deeply connected to your business, then advanced EWM stops being just another option. It becomes a strategic imperative.
And so we'll end with this question for you to take back and think about. Take a good hard look at your own operation and ask yourself this. Is our warehouse just a cost center? Just a place where we store stuff? Or could it be a weapon, a dynamic, intelligent engine that actually helps us win in the marketplace? The answer to that question tells you everything you need to know.